it's me, Michelle, in case you forgot about me. I'm finally back with regular podcasts again, at least I hope to keep up with them. I'm here with an all-new program for you, and I'll kick it off with a series of collaborations, starting with a podcast featuring Luna TK, who you might know. Today's topic is Miraculous, Season 1 especially, but we'll also talk about the first episodes of Season 2. And it's kind of fitting because November 1st is my 3rd anniversary in the fandom, and I think it's pretty neat that we start off my podcast series with this topic. So, hello Luna TK, how are you today?
Hey everybody, it's me.
We want to start off this podcast with introducing you to how we got into the series, how we got into Miraculous, and how the series got us obsessed with this episode. Do you want to start?
Sure. Well, so I got into the series actually because of you. A few years ago, you and I actually had bonded over a separate series, which is Sailor Moon, and then Miraculous started coming out, and for quite a while you were telling me, Luna, you have to try this series, you have to watch this. And so eventually I decided I'd give it a shot. I think it was for your birthday, actually. I was like, you know what?
So. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know what would be a great birthday present for Michelle would be I'll record myself watching this series since, we're in completely different countries, let alone continents. So, we can't watch it together in person. So I was like, all right, I'll record my reaction and then she'll be able to kind of be as if she's right here with me watching it. So pretty much I watched it from the get-go and I ended up loving the humor. I ended up loving the story. And from there, well, people ended up liking my reactions too, so I just couldn't stop from there. It was just too much fun.
Yeah, that was like the best birthday present ever. Yeah, when I got into the fandom of Miraculous, I was actually already in the Sailor Moon fandom, where I also got to know Luna. And it was actually just me scrolling through Tumblr, and I saw a post from somebody I followed because of Sailor Moon, and she was comparing Miraculous to Sailor Moon, and I was like, oh wait, what's this series? I want to check it out. So I watched the first 2 episodes, I guess. And then I already got obsessed. So I was like, oh my God, I need to watch all of them, all of the episodes that were out by then. And that was about 3 years ago. So yeah, here I am, having plenty of fan accounts for Miraculous, having met so many different people from different countries as well. And I think it's great to have that series connect people with each other.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the series is that, honestly, I've met so many different people from around everywhere. I have people, even on my videos, they comment, they're saying like, hello from Colombia, hello from the UK. And that's just really cool in this kind of world to be able to just bond over something as simple and as fun as this. So it really has been, I really am honestly grateful that you introduced me to the series because it's been quite the journey, honestly, the past couple of years. So I have to say thank you for that.
You're very welcome. So let's start talking about Season 1 because you just recently finished it. What were your thoughts of the series?
My first impression of Season 1 was that, honestly, it was just fun. Like, honestly, I started watching it and it was kind of strange because I'm not used to watching a series that's kind of completely out of order. I mean, I remember I watched the first episode, which was Stormy Weather, and I remember at the end, I finished recording it and I was like, did I just pick up in like the middle? Like, did I like not watch the first episode? What is going on? And I was so confused and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go like see if I can find the first episode. And then I tried researching it, and then I was like, there is no first episode. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of intriguing because I'm so used to starting off in the beginning with, you know, these kind of shows or superhero type style where you immediately get the origins. But this was kind of intriguing because we don't know where these guys came from.
Yes.
We have no idea where Tiki came from, no idea how they got their powers and anything. It just kind of picks right up and you're like, okay, I guess this is how we're going to start here. So, honestly, but then from there, you know, it was, even though there was a little bit of that confusion in the beginning, I just immediately loved the characters. It was a nice break, honestly. It was kind of a break from reality because you just kind of go right in and watch this show and it's kind of like a monster of the day type style, especially the first season. It was a very monster of the day. And I mean, even though it was a little bit repetitive, there were overarching little hints and connections between each and every episode. I loved being able to make predictions based upon the titles of the episodes of who would be akumatized next.
It's actually funny that you pick up the fact that it doesn't start at the beginning, but like in the middle of the story, and you get the origins at the end. But I think that kind of makes it more intriguing because you wonder, where did they get their powers from?
Certainly.
What's the actual background story of the Miraculouses and the Kwamis? And you keep guessing and try to find out little details from each episode. And in the end, you get to watch the origins if you watch them at the end, as it was actually planned by the producers and the director. But I think some channels didn't respect that order. For example, in Germany, they aired the origins first. Because they're very logical and they thought, let's start at the beginning. But actually they planned to have people watch the series first and watch the origins at the ending. So I think it makes it more interesting to watch the series without knowing the background story at the beginning.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that because it was just, I agree. And it was funny because they did have little hints throughout the first season. I think, what was it? It was the Pharaoh episode where they did a little bit more background about Ladybug, and I was like, oh, okay, this is very intriguing, and oh my gosh, we're finally getting some sort of background. But then you kind of only get little snippets, and you're like, oh no, like I need more. So it really, I'm happy that I did in my case watch, you know, as closely as I could the production order and watch the origins at the end because it really was quite a treat.
Especially since you waited a whole year between the last, like the actual last episode and the origins.
Yes.
I think that built your curiosity even more.
Yes, and honestly, it kind of built up the suspense, and even with some of my followers and subscribers, they were like, "When are you gonna get to Origins and Volpina?" And it kind of hyped me up. Like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to see this!" And so naturally, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this!" And so even though it took as long as it did, it very much got me super, super, super excited when I finally got a chance to watch it.
And regarding the fact that there's like no real episode order, and I think that's good because you get to know the characters first. You don't concentrate on the episode order or what comes first, what comes next.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's a good aspect, though.
Absolutely, yeah, I 100% agree. But to be honest, when it comes down to it, I think that's one of the things that makes the fandom what it is, because it allows a little bit to the imagination. It allows people to kind of make up fan theories or heck, even fan fiction based upon what they think, you know, is the origins or what they think is, you know, the underlying background.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the fun of it, is the theories.
Speaking of the origins, what were your initial thoughts when you watched them? Like your first thoughts when you got to know the backstory and where the Miraculouses come from, or the Kwamis?
That was very super exciting because they finally, honestly, proved, you know, that Hawkmoth pretty much was Adrienne's dad. Well, they did that a little bit in Collector too, right? So yeah. It's a little bit of both. But as I said, it was very exciting because we finally get a little bit of understanding. And it was really, I was not expecting to see an extra Kwame there in the beginning. They immediately jump right in and start telling you the powers of the Miraculouses and why it is that Hawkmoth has the Miraculous that he has. What I really loved about the Origin episodes, though, was how we really got to see how Ladybug became as strong and as graceful, honestly, as she did. There was a lot of character development that happened.
I agree.
And that was something that was kind of a little bit exciting and a little bit refreshing, because obviously the rest of the season had kind of been a little bit more Monster of the Day. And there was progressional, like a little bit of plot development as it went along. But when we really got into Origins, I mean, we had a ton of stuff that happened. And it was cool, too. We got to understand why it is that she needs to capture the Akumas. I never really realized why it is that she needs to capture them and turn them into like little sparkly little bye-bye butterfly.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was very intriguing that if she didn't do that, they would just be like a ton of akumatized people like everywhere, and it would just kind of, you know, be absolute madness. So that was fun.
Speaking of the character development, I want to make a bridge between season 1 and season 2. We already got character development in the Origins. I think more than we got in the rest of the episodes, because obviously we first got to know the characters, and later when they introduced the characters, you can actually develop them. And you have already seen the first 4 episodes of season 2. And I think it's safe for me to say that they already improved in season 2. I mean, regarding animation and character development and plot development.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was kind of a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. I mean, the Collector, right from the get-go, was like, okay, this is what's happening. We're picking up right where we left off. And it was like, oh my gosh, like so much is happening. And they're packing so much more into the storylines in each individual episode. So we're really starting to get somewhere. I mean, already we got a little bit of a connection between season 2 back to season 1, where there was that little snippet in Prime Queen where we saw that tiny little snip of the picture of Ladybug kissing Cat Noir.
Oh my god, I love that.
I literally freaked out.
I don't know if you listened to my review that I recorded like almost a year ago, but I think I mentioned back then that I was always wondering when Cat Noir will find out about that kiss. And they finally gave us that moment where they showed it on the show, and he was like, when did that happen? I love that they included that.
Absolutely. I was hoping they would dive into that a little bit more, but hopefully maybe later in the season they will. I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But
I felt like they were mocking themselves, kind of. Or
yes.
like a wink to the audience to show, we know what you think and we know what you want, and we might give you that second kiss or not. Like, they tried to kiss twice in that episode, or Cat Noir tried to kiss her twice in the episode, and I was always like, okay, will she agree or not?
Which is funny, because considering the fact that she's already kissed him once in order to kind of save the day, I was slightly surprised that she didn't in that episode.
She was like so sassy, like, no, not happening. In your dreams.
Like the music that they played too, like it was like and they played like this like kind of sexy music, like
yes. They always do that. They get like their standard music for those moments.
It made honestly, that was one of my favorite parts of that entire episode. And I'm sure that if she realized that it was Adrienne, she totally would have been fine with him kissing her in that episode.
Maybe she is too caught up with her crush on Adrienne, on the one hand. And on the other hand, I guess she feels like Cat Noir is trying too hard. It's something of both. On the one hand, she's too caught up with Adrienne and she doesn't consider anyone else. maybe.
Right.
Or wasn't there, I don't want to spoil or anything, but I think that's really old, that one webisode that came out where she was writing in her diary. Did you watch that?
Oh, I didn't watch it, but I heard that it was something like if Adrienne wasn't around,
Yeah.
then maybe she Cat Noir a chance, you know? Yeah.
It's like already a hint, like, okay, I'm so caught up with Adrienne, but if he wasn't there, I might consider giving in to Cat Noir. I'm always saying Chat Noir because that's the French version, but obviously in English it's Cat Noir. But I think it's funny because noir is actually black in French, and they have like a mix of English and French in Cat Noir. I think that's kind of funny that they kept that noir thing and they don't say cat black or something. I think in Korea they say black cat. They don't say Cat Noir, or at least in the first season.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny considering the fact that a lot of the times in things like that they will translate names like that. In Sailor Moon, they go from Tuxedo Kamen to Tuxedo Mask. So yeah, but I mean we're in a different place I think now than we were in the 90s, where we try to keep a little bit more to the culture of where it comes from.
Yeah, most people already know the English words. For example, Miraculous, they didn't translate that part, at least. I think in Spain it was prodigiosa for a while, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I kind of heard that they changed it, but my friends in Spain will probably tell me soon what the current status is. But I think apart from that, they pretty much kept this title the same, except for the part that says Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. In German they say Geschichten von Ladybug und Cat Noir. And in French, obviously, they have the French version. So they don't translate the Miraculous part, but they translate the rest of it. So the title is always Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir in different languages over the world. But somehow in the global fandom, they say Miraculous Ladybug. Like they already see Ladybug as the main character, and somehow this second title got established, or the second hashtag got established in the fandom. And I don't know, we always say ML and it always puts the focus on Ladybug, but kind of forgets about Cat Noir, but we still love him, obviously. I think it was just in the beginning where we thought, okay, Ladybug is the main character.
Yeah.
And I hope they will bring Cat Noir more into focus in the next episodes.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things I did kind of like about Miraculous was this new concept of kind of the duo here. And they're kind of opposites in a sense, where she's good luck, he's bad luck. She kind of pretty much materializes things like out of nothing, and he destroys things. So there's kind of that little bit of the opposites there, and I'm not used to there kind of being a guy and girl duo, and she might do the very last final blow where she captures the Akuma and releases it back up into the sky, but I mean he is there in every single episode. There has not been one episode where Cat Noir hasn't been present and hasn't been around to help her out, and he's obviously still very much needed with that duo that they have. So I mean, as excited as I am for the remaining characters to kind of come into play, and I'm also kind of hoping that we don't lose too much of that, because that's something that was very different, I think, and one of the things I very much liked about the series. But I'm very interested to see what the powers are of the other characters, because I mean, like I said, Cat Noir and Ladybug are kind of a yin and yang right now. So I mean, what else can there be? So I mean, but then again, that just because of that, it makes me excited on the opposite side of the coin here. It makes me excited to see, okay, well, how do they add to this? What are they going to bring to the table? So yeah,
I think you're especially talking about the new heroes coming up, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean, the new heroes. Yeah. So, because obviously I'm aware that there's going to be, new heroes. I mean, there's no way to avoid that spoiler.
It's so hard to talk to you about season 2 because I've seen way more episodes than you have. So I know a bit, but not too much.
As I say, my impression, of season 2 is there's definitely, I think, the writing is better.
Oh yes, totally.
Not even just the plot development, because I mean there are a couple episodes. The last one that I watched, Repost, there wasn't quite as much plot development as I hoped there would be. Although I've heard that the character that makes an appearance will be there later, so it's a subtle hint that, there's a little bit, I guess, of plot development, and I just don't know it yet. But at the same token, the writing was still better. We got the interactions between the characters was better. The animation is better. So in terms of future episodes, I'm expecting that as the season goes along, that it's going to be very, very, very exciting. And there's probably going to be lots of screaming on my side of things. So, yeah.
I don't want to tell you too much about the next episodes, but I can promise you that the episodes get better from episode to episode. So you're watching the next episode and you think it can't get better, but it does.
Okay.
I hope I didn't get your hopes up too high. But at least it was my experience.
I love the series regardless, and I love every aspect about it. Whether there's extra plot development or not, it's still fun. It's just extremely enjoyable, and it's a nice break from adulting.
Yeah, that's true.
From my experience, while there are some differences amongst some fans, when it comes down to it, we're all watching it and we're all enjoying it, and it's still a very loving community, and I'm so happy that I'm a part of it, because it's just full of love and laughter and exciting, things.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all kind of just fangirl and fanboy like, just a bunch of goofballs, and it's great.
A little thought at the end of this podcast, since you brought that up, that it's a nice break from adulting. I think it's awesome that we can watch that series and not get bored as adults. Like, we're both 24 as of now when we're recording. Like, we're both in our mid-20s and we still enjoy the series, and I think that's really awesome, because there are series for kids, and when I watch a snippet of them on TV and I'm like, oh my god, people, why are you watching this? And I love it that Miraculous is one of those few series that is still interesting for adults as well.
Yeah, it's nice because it bridges that gap and that age gap. It's something that, different ages can enjoy, because it's, the superhero. No, who doesn't love superheroes, honestly?
True.
I mean, look at Marvel. Look at how huge those movies are doing.
Especially in the last few years.
Oh, yes. And you know why? It's because not only are they superheroes, not only do you get that a little bit slice of life, but you get the humor too. You get to laugh. And I think that's really what makes things like this so great. And that's why they're, they can bridge that gap, because the adults can enjoy the humor and the romance and kind of the subtle things that happen there that the adults can enjoy. And obviously it's something that's also very kid friendly, and it's just happy stuff. I mean,
it's a show for the whole family.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, when I have kids, I am totally going to show them Miraculous. Absolutely.
No doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
Before we start rambling, I guess we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lunatic K, for joining my podcast today. You guys out there, thank you for listening until here. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you loved our podcast. Talk to you soon, and I hope you stay tuned, and take care.
Bye, everybody. We hope you have a pawsome day.
Bye.